evening, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking after the graduates have received their certificates is quite difficult, but I believe that they will be able to give us a few cents of their time. The director, Mr. Ahmed Rassa, the principal, Sam Turia, the parents in your respective capacities that are here, the parents and the teaching staff, good evening. I'm honored to be here this evening to officiate on my first ever graduation ceremony. I will say first, and I would like to thank Kabojja for the trust in me. But the reason why I actually accepted to take this honor, in spite of the fact that, last night I was traveling back from about 600 kilometers from here, was because of my passion for young people. We live in a continent where Africa only contributes 2% to the global GDP. And yet we are a massive population. And as the young people go out, I want to challenge you to please think about coming back to solve the African problems. Because I know most of you are going to go to universities in the UK, in the US, South Africa, wherever. But as you pursue whatever degrees you pursue, and I hope the candidates are listening. Yeah? One meeting, thank you. As you pursue the courses that you want to pursue, I would like to ask you to think about a few things. Number one, we all know that we live in a poverty-stricken country. You probably have relatives, you have communities that you live in, but most importantly, you know that your parents struggle so hard to pay the tuition that they have been paying for your tuition every single term. Yeah? The parents have made an investment. The country has made an investment. The community has made an investment in you as an individual. And as you go out there, I would like you to ask yourself one question. What am I going to do to give back to my community as an individual, first and foremost? If you answer that question in an affirmative position, you will have contributed enormously, not to the African continent, but to the global world that we are all connected in. So think about the health challenges we have. Think about the governance challenges we have. I was extremely thrilled that we have people in our midst that are looking to become presidents. Really, that is really inspiring, and I was thinking the lady was going to be a vice president, but I still saw a male coming through, but I challenged the ladies to think about taking the presidency himself. Think about the poor access to water and sanitation, but most importantly, the infrastructure challenges that we have. So with all of the disruption of technology, and I know all of you have been tweeting, Instagramming, Snapchatting, for a moment, think about what you're doing with the technology that you have. Are you actually making money off your Instagram account? Or are you making other people make money off the postings you make every single second that you make a post on your Snapchat account? If you are only making a one mark make money or another person make money, it's about time that you try to reverse that technology so that it works for us. And as Africans, we've got so much talent, and I think you could see the creative acts that came out on the floor here. But many times we only think about applying our talent, and very few times do we think about monetizing that talent. Yeah? So as we go out, I think many of you will be probably taking business courses or taking technology or taking STEM degrees in science and technology. The opportunity is now. Your parents have not been able to unlock the global opportunity that there is, but you have been given the torch to do that. And the interesting thing, because you're leading that curve, there is no written script on what you can and cannot do. But you can define that script, and you can define how we can excel as Africans to not only tell the African story to the world, but to also take Africa to the world. So as I stand here, I am a media practitioner, as you know, and many times we tell the stories that we tell. But very few people try to understand why we tell those stories. And the reason we actually tell those stories is because we want to give an opportunity for people that don't have the chance to speak to be heard. And when that happens, it triggers action. When action happens, it triggers leaders to be accountable. And when that happens, we get what we call inclusive growth. So this is the time for young people to think about the opportunities. They are quite immense. When we sit on the side where we're sitting, I was just looking at everything happening here, and I was thinking about how that can take Africa to the world. But probably many times we don't do that, because as millennials, like you like to be called, or teenagers or youth, you tend to think about yourself first. But from this day forward, thinking about yourself first is probably going to cease. And I'm specifically speaking to the year 13s, because you're going to have what we call freedom, but you're going to be asked to be responsible with that freedom. Your parents are not going to be there. They're probably not going to see you for 6 months, for 1 year. But they're going to be sending their part of the bargain, which is the tuition, which is the support, which is, the moral and spiritual support. And they will trust that you, as their son or daughter, will honor that trust and give it back. And it's at the point at which you fail to honor that trust and you lose that trust that probably you begin to regret the decisions you make. But I believe, from what I have seen and heard about Kabojja, they have taken the time to instill the values and the disciplines that you will hold very dear. And as you go out there, I'm asking, please remain true to Africa. Remember what is your culture, where are you coming from. Do not be allowed to be swallowed by a foreign culture that we do not know so much about. And probably most of you do not even appreciate your own culture. So this is probably the time. Because as you will notice, when you go out, you say, I'm coming from Africa. The first thing they'll say, you're Nigerian. Why? Because probably the Nigerians have defined their character and who they are a little bit. Then you say, no, I'm not Nigerian. Oh, you're Ghanaian. You are Randi. So it's probably at the tail end of the conversation. So we are sending you out there to carry the Ugandan flag, to carry the Kenyan flag, to carry the Rwandese flag. Because when they see you and what you do should represent what your country has ushered you to do. And that is the one thing that I really ask. To the parents, I would like to thank you so much for taking the risk to invest in your children. I know, I'm a parent myself, I have 3 daughters, that it is very, very painful to not afford to give your child what they want. And I know that we do take very many risks to say, I'm going to trade this off for my child. And the only thing you expect to get back is for the child to respect you, for the child to be a good child, for the child to give us excellent results. And I believe you've done your part, but do not tire. You have to continue doing this consistently and giving them the confidence that whatever choices they make, you will be there for them. And whatever choices it is they choose, it's probably because they've seen something bigger and greater than what you saw as a parent. Because I keep telling my children, I want to learn with you, because the things they learn now is not what I learned. And every time I learn with them, I actually learn something more. So we're going to continue the learning curve. And I'm sure the parents will give the shoulder to the children to be able to believe that whatever you do, we're there. But please, the young people, do not abuse that trust. Because it is within that trust that we expect you to be candid, to be transparent, to stay loyal to your parents and to your communities and to your countries. But most importantly, the litmus test, like I said, the litmus test is in the results you deliver. If you go out and spend 4 years, 5 years, and you come back without a degree, that will be the litmus test. That will be the rubber hitting the road. So you must come back with a good result. And please come back to bring that talent back to Uganda, because there are lots of opportunities back home. Do not be absorbed in the foreign countries. Come back and let us grow our GDP from just 2% to probably another 10, 15, and 20%, in the likes of 28% where the US is sitting. So that said, I will not take a lot of your time. I know we need to go and take pictures and celebrate. I again urge you to take some moment and reduce the time you're spending on social media. I know that will come with a big EE, or no, you don't understand us, slow, we are this and that. But if only you reduce 20% of the time you spend on social media, you can increase 30% of your productivity. You can be able to become the next inventor. You can be able to discover the next application that will rock the world. Remember, the youngest people now are making money at the age of 18, 19, and 20. The biggest billionaires in the world are 19 years old. Why shouldn't it be our own? Because the minute you do that, the whole of Uganda becomes rich. So imagine how much we can do if we can use the technology available now to disrupt but monetize it and grow our economy from wherever we are to a higher middle income status. This is what I urge you to do. Go out there, look for the opportunities, keep the right friends, and most importantly, keep very close to your God. Thank you very much for God and my country.